So I grabbed a clip of you talking about DNA. You said basically Gary Nolan, and I don't have the quote verbatim in front of me. Basically, you said, Gary Nolan, Dr. Kit Green, these people are trying to acquire everybody that's an experiencer, their DNA, and they're going to try to make something out of it. They're trying to make a drug out of it. They're trying to do something with the DNA to make a drug to either turn on the phenomenon, turn off the phenomenon. And I had been hearing this in my research and other circles, and of course, Dr. Nolan's work, through Diana Pasalka's book at the time, her first book. And, he wasn't even public yet. He was James or something like that in the book. He had a pseudonym. So he didn't even came out to say it was him. But in the book, obviously in the text, it said, yeah, James is trying to take DNA from experiencers and create a drug to turn on and off the phenomenon. And it's like, holy shit. So now we have collaboration, like corroboration, right? You've said it. She said it. He said it to him. And then there's all these other case studies. You pointed me to Burroughs. Same thing, right? Same thing that he said. Bunch of clips of him on Linda Moulton Howe saying, hey, Gary Nolan wanted my DNA. Kit Green wanted my DNA. And you just go on and on and on. So at the time, I'm pretty neutral. I don't, I don't pick sides, right? I just like to have all of the information come in, and then I get to, try to see if there's any correlation to any of this, if any of it makes sense. I just bring it all in, whether it's wacky or whatever. So this started checking a whole bunch of boxes for me. So when I posted the clip of you on engaging the phenomenon on my Twitter, said, wow, this is huge. It blew up. It went huge, man. Like at one point, Tom DeLonge retweeted it, and then it even got more massive. And it was then is when I got attacked. I got attacked from everywhere, all over the place, going, take this down. Gary Nolan was like, take this down, take it down right now. It's not true. I never said it. And I'm like, well, I didn't say it. It was Andrew. It was the guy who said it. It wasn't me. I'm just literally posting a clip of somebody else on somebody else's show of, saying it. And I got attacked from all angles, from everywhere. Basically, everybody was saying to shut up about it, to don't talk about it. It's a big deal, but shut up. And it's not true. Well, if it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't true, then why would you go through that stuff? Basically kind of shadow ban me, right? Like my views on my channel went from, like 1,000, 2,000, it's still nothing huge, but went down to like nothing, like all my tweets, nobody was seeing my tweets anymore. All this weird stuff started happening, and it was directly related to that. So I just started digging harder, and I got pissed. So I made a giant thread about it. Right. And all of my evidence, I put out this giant thread on Twitter. You can go back and look. And my buddy John Warner said, post that every month, once a month, just repost that tweet, And so I do, because there's a whole bunch of evidence in there that I've linked and people's firsthand accounts of Dr. Gary Nolan, Dr. Kit Green asking experiencers for their DNA. And in some cases, maybe taking it against their will. Right.
Yeah, it is interesting because I know John Burroughs, this is, years ago, I had heard this before anything. And I just had heard he had a health effect from having a close encounter to a craft at the, for people listening, there was the Rendlesham Forest Instagram, story that happened, the encounter there with people in the military touching a craft and getting close to it. And John Burroughs had health effects from it. So years later,
severe health effects. Yeah.
Right. And he went to Dr. Kit Green to get some help. And he said Dr. Kit Green saved his life, but basically said, okay, I'll help you, but I want your DNA. And he's like, what? No, this is, he said this in an interview. This is not, once again, it's not Andrew saying this. This is what I heard. Right. I was like, that's interesting. Why would they want someone's, what does DNA have to do with anything? And it's still the giant secret. Like, if anyone gets the chance to ask Kit Green, he will not even, budge or even reveal why, what he wants to do with it. There's something to it. There's something to the human DNA. I have heard that either, us as humans, part of our DNA is alien, or vice versa. The beings that they're getting and encountering, that when they've done testing on them, I've heard that the DNA panel that they do on them is part human. So, we possibly connected to these things. And when Tom DeLonge retweeted what I had said and what I've been saying for years, and this is nothing new. This is why I was so shocked. I have been talking about this since 2017 when I first did an interview. I wasn't hiding this from anyone. So I'm like, why all of a sudden now it's a problem? You know what I mean? It was really interesting. I'm like, it just didn't make any sense, but it must have really struck a nerve with somebody, or something is going on behind the scenes, whether they're getting funding or they're trying to get funding and they don't want this little birdie out, but they know, and I'm talking about the people I've dealt with, they've known from day one. I'm very public about what I've experienced and
Yeah.
the people I encounter.
Right. Right.
So it's interesting. I was never, there was nothing ever said to me like, oh, don't talk about this. And then with the way that you were attacked, I was just like, this is crazy, man. People coming after people who are just sharing something.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't like, it wasn't me just out there, talking about it. And it was directly attacked at me. And it's like, why? What's up with that? And obviously it struck a nerve, right? I mean, they unleashed the hounds. So, and it just kind of just lit a fire on me. I was just more pissed at that point to dig deeper and figure out what's going on.